Which of you is in charge?
Yo, big man. You might want to get out of here before you get hurt, yeah?
If you're a cop, we got nothing to say.
All I want is some information.
Not a cop, you're in the wrong fucking place.
And all I want is a little information.
Fucker, you do see I got a loaded gun, right?
Look, I realize you guys are not from the island, so you don't know me or my reputation. All I want is... Like I said, I'm not here to hurt anyone. All I want to know is if my brother...
The film opens on a quiet island, removed from the chaos of the city. Nora, a young singer from Chicago, delivers a carefully staged yet captivating performance for the wealthy tycoon Manuel Alvarez. Her voice holds the room. Deeply impressed, Alvarez invites her to join him at his table, expressing sincere admiration for her talent and charm. As their conversation unfolds, Alvarez reveals a growing interest in Nora. He offers her a position as the lead singer in his club, promising a salary 3 times greater than what she earned in Chicago. The moment feels generous, even promising, but the atmosphere shifts abruptly when a waiter accidentally spills wine on Nora's dress while serving the table. Nora responds with calm reassurance, dismissing the incident as a simple mistake. Despite her composure, Alvarez reacts without hesitation. In full view of everyone present, he stabs the waiter, Akeem. The act exposes his cruelty and makes it clear that he is a dangerous man, unfit to be trusted or served. Alvarez angrily informs the young woman that she will now serve as his exclusive singer. The story then shifts to Los Angeles, where police partners Mark and Phil are conducting an illegal drug exchange as part of an undercover operation. The transaction proceeds smoothly until one of the dealers suddenly turns on them, holding Phil at gunpoint. A violent struggle erupts.
Hey, Phil, talk to me!
Shut the fuck up.
Hey, Phil!
Because I promise you my family will come after you and everyone you lost. We'll pass.
Hey, shut the fuck up. Phil!
In the midst of the chaos, Mark receives a devastating phone call informing him of the death of his younger brother, Akeem. He immediately abandons the operation and returns home. Akeem's funeral is marked by overwhelming grief. His mother, Yvonne, is inconsolable, supported by her sons Mark and Akila. Alvarez also attends the service, presenting himself as a sympathetic figure and offering assistance to the family. After the burial, Mark escorts his mother home, where he quietly reflects on Akeem's life while looking through old family photo albums. As emotions intensify, Yvonne confides in Mark that Akeem had recently transformed his life for the better. She cannot comprehend what could have led to his death. Despite her fear of losing another son, Mark resolves to uncover the truth. The next day, Mark visits the local police station and reconnects with his childhood friend Nate. Seeking answers, Mark presses him for information. Nate explains that the investigation remains incomplete but that Akeem's death is suspected to be gang-related. He notes that the island has become a hotspot for criminal activity due to gangs arriving to party and exploit the area. Mark later visits his ex-wife Akila at her martial arts dojo. While maintaining professional distance, Akila provides critical insight into the island's transformation. She explains that Alvarez now controls much of the island's economy and influence. She also reveals that Akeem had begun working 2 months earlier as a bartender at Luna Club, a venue owned by Alvarez, placing him directly within Alvarez's sphere of influence. Armed with this information, Mark goes to Luna Club. Although initially blocked by Alvarez's bodyguard, he is eventually granted access. Mark confronts Alvarez about his brother's death. Alvarez denies involvement, claiming that Akeem frequently associated with gang members and visited another bar after his shifts. He provides Mark with the location of that bar. Unconvinced, Mark warns Alvarez to leave the island before the truth comes to light. Alvarez dismisses the threat, boasting that he knows Mark's past well enough to remain untouchable. Mark responds coldly, implying that Alvarez's confidence is misplaced and that his protection will not last. After Mark's departure, Alvarez orders his men to alert the northern gangs and eliminate him. Mark seeks out his longtime associate Tessim, who has been safeguarding a package for him. Tessim confirms its location, prompting Mark to retrieve it from an abandoned house. Inside, Mark uncovers a cache of firearms, resources he may need as the situation escalates. Mark proceeds to the bar identified by Alvarez. Upon entering, he shuts down the music and confronts the assembled gangs, demanding information about Akeem's murder. Attempting to de-escalate the situation, he disarms one gang member and removes the ammunition to demonstrate his intent to avoid violence. The effort fails when the gangs attack, igniting a brutal brawl. The conflict intensifies as northern gang members, acting on Alvarez's orders, arrive on motorcycles and open fire. A high-speed pursuit through the streets follows. That way! Mark manages to incapacitate one attacker, vaults over a fence, and successfully evades capture. When the gangs lose his lead, report their failure, Alvarez responds with fury and orders them to target Mark's mother, using her as leverage to draw him out. That night, gang members break into Yvonne's home and unleash gunfire into the bedroom, believing she is inside. They soon realize the room is empty. Unbeknownst to them, Akila had already relocated Yvonne to her own residence for protection. Meanwhile, police investigate the violent incident at the bar. During the inquiry, Nate receives an urgent report regarding the attack on Yvonne's home and rushes to the scene. There, he encounters Mark. Nate questions him about the earlier gang violence. Mark minimizes the issue, stating that it pales in comparison to the loss of his brother and the attempt on his mother's life. He expresses his commitment to working alongside Nate to restore safety and justice to the island they both grew up on. Before parting, Nate provides Mark with a crucial lead. He reveals that Nora, a singer who was present at the bar on the night of Akeem's murder, may hold vital information and give Mark her location. Alvarez, enraged by the North Gang's failure to assassinate Mark, makes their execution without mercy, even though one of them had delivered a photograph of Mark and Akila taken from Yvonne's house. Using the photograph as his next lead, Alvarez instructs his men to contact their most trusted associates. The following day, Mark tracks down a singer connected to the case. He introduces himself as a Los Angeles police officer, but she initially refuses to open the door. Mark explains that he is the brother of a bartender who was recently murdered and warns her that, as a potential eyewitness, her life may be in danger. He assures her of protection if she cooperates. Still hesitant, she demands proof, prompting Mark to present his Los Angeles Police Department badge. Convinced, she allows him inside. Though reluctant, Nora eventually agrees to speak after Mark promises her a secure transfer back to Chicago under police protection. Overcome with grief, she reveals that Alvarez was responsible for the killing. Mark immediately arranges the process with Nate to escort Nora safely back to the United States. Later, Mark visits Akila's home to check on her mother and to inform her that Alvarez was responsible for Akeem's death. While inside the house, Mark hears an engine revving outside. Alvarez has dispatched his special unit to eliminate them. Mark quickly retrieves his weapons, hands one to Akila, and orders her to flee with Yvonne through the rear of the house. The attackers approach with weapons drawn. Simultaneously, Mark alerts Nate to the assault. Nate activates his sirens and speeds toward the location. Upon arrival, he engages the gunman. With Nate's support, Mark kills one of the attackers, forcing the remaining gang members to retreat.
You okay? Yes.
Yo, you good?
I'm good.
After the confrontation, Nate checks in with Mark. They agree to regroup later at the old sugar mill. Meanwhile, Alvarez discovers that Nora has escaped from the hotel. Terrified of incarceration, he executes one of his men by overdosing him on narcotics, punishing him for allowing her escape. At the police station, Nate contacts Phil for intelligence on the gang involved in the attack. Phil confirms that the fingerprints belong to a sicario connected to a notoriously violent Colombian cartel. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, Phil offers his assistance, suspecting involvement from a high-level drug network. Nate, however, refuses to disclose further details. Mark relocates his family and Aquila to a secure location. Although Aquila resists leaving the fight behind, she remains resolute in her commitment to liberate the island and stand beside Mark. Later, during a campfire conversation at the old sugar mill factory, Aquila urges Mark to allow Nate to pursue a legal case against Alvarez using Nora's testimony. Mark explains that men like Alvarez never face justice in court, they are only stopped through final means. As their discussion continues, a police vehicle approaches slowly. When Mark reaches the car, he discovers Nate has been brutally beaten. As he rushes to help, a second vehicle arrives and opens fire, revealing an ambush. During the chaos, Aquila is incapacitated with a taser and abducted. Mark manages to kill one of the attackers, but the kidnappers escape. At Nate's funeral, held in a church, Mark appears overcome with grief. He recounts the killings, kidnappings, and corruption that have plagued the island under Alvarez's rule. He pleads for the community's support to bring an end to Alvarez's reign of terror. Following Nate's death, Mark assumes the role of acting police chief. He briefs his colleagues and calls for unity. While reviewing files in Nate's office, Mark uncovers evidence that Nate had been building a money laundering case against Alvarez. As Mark processes the discovery, Phil arrives unexpectedly. Though Mark questions his involvement, Phil insists that his assistance is necessary. With no time to waste, Mark asks Phil to prepare the next course of action. The next day, Alvarez contacts Mark and demands a meeting at the old sugar factory at 7 a.m. Mark is ordered to come unarmed and bring Nora in exchange for Aquila's release. Immediately after the call, Mark contacts Phil and instructs him to assemble a team for a coordinated operation. At dawn, Phil and his unit infiltrate Alvarez's territory with the objective of rescuing Aquila.
Okay? Guns! Okay. See? Yeah.
Hey!
Meanwhile, Mark arrives at the factory alone. After being searched by Alvarez's bodyguards, he is cleared to face Alvarez. Mark deliberately prolongs the meeting. When Alvarez demands Nora, Mark claims she is nearby and pretends to place a call, buying crucial time. Moments later, Phil successfully rescues Aquila. Phil then informs Mark that Aquila is safe. When Alvarez attempts to contact his men to execute Aquila, he receives no response. Realizing he has been outmaneuvered, Alvarez erupts in fury. Mark laughs, revealing the truth. Alvarez orders Mark's execution, but the command comes too late.
Now what?
And I'm gonna give you a choice that you didn't give my brother.
The film concludes with Alvarez dead, fulfilling the promise Mark made during their very first encounter. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe and press the like button for more chilling movie clips.